Hi guys, I'm back. So I've pissed YouTube off. It was bound to happen sooner or later. Frankly, I think it's a fucking miracle it hasn't happened earlier than this. But there we are. It was my Truman Decoded video, which I did ad hoc because something said to me yesterday, go and watch the Truman Show again. Just like it said to me a week before that, or maybe not quite a week, but whatever, to watch The Matrix again. Now, when I watched The Matrix, I had my little book and a pen, and I took notes, and I will be doing that video as well. But with The Truman Show, I didn't do that. I don't know why. I should have. It's really quite stupid, but there we are. I did that video, and they took it down. So what do you do in such circumstances? Well, you just fucking sit down and you do it again. So I'm going to call this one The Truman Show Decoded and re-upload it, motherfuckers. Right, The Truman Show. Because, I don't know. It's like half and half, and it's interesting because the sun shone on me whilst I was doing that video, and the blinds were half down. I always have my blinds down because, keep the world out there in as far as I can. Mostly, I'm really kind of a hermit. Aren't we all these days, right? Social distancing, that's okay, I'll comply with that, no problem, In fact, 6 feet's nowhere near enough, make it 600 feet. Anyway. See how compliant I am, YouTube. I'm socially distancing in a massive way every day, and have done even before this whole poo. Right, there you go then. Anyway. The sun shone in, and it was like my face was half in sun and half in shadow, and it was interesting because that is pretty much how I feel today and have been. It is the war, the battle that is raging. It is in full swing. It is completely and utterly insane and bizarre now. I mean, it makes things like the Twilight Zone seem like this is normal life or something. Anyway, it is utterly insane. All of it is. But it felt really good to watch The Truman Show, just like it felt really good to watch The Matrix, because, guys, I was seeing it all with new eyes, on a whole new level of awareness. And it proves to me a point. It proves to me that what we are doing here, that what I have been doing here, in the darkness, in my shadow, has not been meaningful, right? I'm here, my Jim Jams. It's not been meaningless. It's been meaningful, because when you know that your consciousness has expanded, has risen, then when you're able to grasp concepts that you couldn't even grasp before, when you're able to understand the nature, the quantum nature of everything, when you feel your sovereignty rising within you, this indomitable will that is the I am, that says no. But more than that says, you can learn to let go of the hatred, the fear, the rage, and all other assorted hell contagion nuances within you, which is all trauma programming. Yeah, you can, because that is the miracle. And from that process grows, or rather emerges the true consciousness, which will reset everything. I really believe that. And so this sovereignty is rising. I feel it, and I'm sure a lot of you feel it. And ultimately that is what the Truman Show is all about. It is an analogy of what is commonly known as the hero's quest, the hero's journey. Now, Truman starts life as an unwanted pregnancy, an unwanted child. And that is how we all feel. There is a song, I don't know who by, but it's quite a sad song. It's a good song. I feel like a motherless child. All soul travelers feel that it's what we call the fall, but it kind of implies that we've done something wrong, which isn't true. But the fall, where is Mother? Mother has forsaken us. Mother has rejected us. We are all alone here in the dark, and we are but a tiny little child. What have we done wrong? And that is the beginning of the hell contagion. That is where the yin and the yang, the black part of the yin yang, goes click out of alignment. We fell because we were unwanted children, and we fall into the fake realm. Truman is adopted by a corporation, a soulless emptiness, bots, NPCs, a world which is fake, which is completely fake, and which is under a dome, which is interesting because the show is broadcast to around the globe. They just had to put that in there, but Truman lives under a dome and basically lives on a flat earth. And Truman is from the very minute he is adopted by the corporation as an unwanted child. And you've got to ask yourself the question, was he? There's Bruce again, my neighbour's cat, bless him. In his fake environment under the dome, which he doesn't know is fake, he doesn't know this, and he's a soul being, he's a soul traveller, and his mother is a total narc, and his wife is a total narc, and his best friend is a total narc, and those fucking weird ass twins that pin him to the wall and back him into a corner are total narcs. That happens to soul travelers all the time, and we're always taught, like Truman, we're all mangled and we're all wrangled, and our consciousness is squeezed into a tiny, tiny, tiny space labelled be nice or else. And this is the same with Truman. He has this boring job, but it's secure. He has security, doing everything he doesn't want to do, being everything he doesn't want to be, only he doesn't even know he doesn't want that. He doesn't even know that. His consciousness, Truman, has been taken, he has fallen into the fake realm, the false realm. He has been forsaken and is being adopted or encapsulated by the AI, by the dark side, to be made to live in a tiny little world which is false, under a dome. And he's surrounded by narcissists they're all mundane reality reinforcement officers, aren't they? And then a ray of light, because on the day I think he marries that psychopath fucking clown nurse that he's married to, he meets this woman, and she is also in the false realm, and she kind of works for the corporation, but she has a conscience, and there is a connection, and love enters the fray. So she is, as it were, an emissary of the Great Mother. And something inside of Truman for the first time goes click. But it doesn't burgeon into full awareness as yet. So, he forgets about it, sort of. Not quite, because I think he keeps making up pictures out of magazines. He keeps strips of paper to try and compose the face, to try and remember this woman that he met on his wedding day, you know, dancing. But he doesn't see her again, and, you know, it kind of fades away, and he gets on with life, you know, and then he's in the library, isn't he? He's in the library, and there she is. There she is. The power of love shows up again, and it's there, and boom, something inside of Truman, despite all the MK Ultra-esque mind control he's been subjected to, the boating accident with his father supposedly dies, to make him terrified of crossing the water which surrounds Sea Haven, right? So that he will never want to leave. He will never want to leave. And every time he's expressed even the slightest inclination, I want to go to Fiji. I want to go to Fiji. There are islands in Fiji that humans have never been to. Is this, I wonder, could this be a reference to the fact that humanity is kept to a very finite landmass? I reckon it is, because there's far more land. You know, the globe or the atlas shows you, oh, this is the lands available, and these are the seas, and that's it, and it's all on a ball. Well, it's all bullshit. Anyway, every time he expresses the slightest interest in anything other than what he has been given, what he has been mind controlled to believe there is for him, must be there for him, that is what he is, and what he has to do, everything, all the NPCs and all the, you know, mundane reality reinforcement officers, it's like, right guys, he's expressed an interest to leave. Ooh. So they get the photo album out, you know, with his mother, who's a total nasty piece of work, a bit like mine, you know, because he talks about his father and the boating accident. And she says, oh, you know, I never blamed you, Truman, and I still don't. In other words, she's implying that it was his fault. This is what they do. They gaslight the fuck out of you. And his mother is a nasty gaslighting bitch. And so is his wife, and so is his best friend, and so is those weird-ass twins, and all these people. But, you know, he meets the girl in the library, and they end up on the beach, which to me seems meaningful because the beach is there and the sea is there. She takes him to his sphere. She takes him right to his sphere, which is the water, which is the boundary of his experience that he inevitably, if he wants to be free, will have to cross. He will have to do that. And love takes him right there. But of course she gets snatched up by this guy. Says, oh yeah, she's schizophrenic. She's taken all her boyfriends here. But of course Truman knows damn well that no, this is a lie. Truman is beginning to trust himself, which is a miracle, because if you think about everything that he's been through, I mean, it's insane, it's incredible, but it's happening. It's a miracle, right? All because of love. Something tells him, yeah, no, she wasn't schizophrenic. That was for real. And so, all of a sudden, his eyes, the shell's full of his eyes, and he sees his environment for what it really is, you know? There is the, you know, the elevator incident when he realises they're sat there with a trestle table with stuff on it. Ooh, there's my little Looms, he's been really out of sorts again. Poor baby. Just nervy and... Hey, son. Yeah. So he noted that his wife comes home from work, and he has her in the car, and he's beginning to get really agitated because he's noticed how everything is just completely, you know, repetitive and on a rotary system. The car is on a rotary system. Oh, there, did you see it? And his wife is, of course, gaslighting him, saying, no, it's not true, and no, it's not happening, even though it clearly is. So he takes her on a wild ride, and she gets really upset, and he gets rescued by his best friend. You know, it's unprofessional! The typical Narg thing there. And You know, it's like he's there with his friend, and you know, he's telling his friend about all his suspicions and all he's seen, and he's terribly upset, he's terribly agitated. He doesn't understand, obviously, because he's lived under the dome. He can't, you know, that is the glass ceiling, that is that mind control, that dome, which keeps our consciousness down, 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 you know, and he cannot as yet pierce that, you know, that thing. It's like, well, I don't understand, and his friend is there, and he is the mimic, the typical narcissist, demon mimic, because it's a, well, Truman, if what you say is true, then I'd be in on it. And he hands him a beer. He's always there with his 6-pack of Duff, and he going, here, Truman, have another tin, you know, have another tin of beer, and you forget all about it. Take drugs, go and buy shit you don't need. Go and buy that car. You see that woman over there, looks like Barbie, go and have sex with her, that'll make you a real man, you know, that sort of thing. That is what that stands for, you know. It stands for all the cheap crap this world dangles in front of you, or, you know, the heroin that people take, or the cocaine that people take, or, you know, the cigarettes that people habitually smoke because otherwise they can't cope. I know how it felt for me when I stopped smoking. You know, every time you start feeling those uncomfortable emotions, it's like, oh, I desperately need a fag, but no, I'm not having one. It's the only way to pierce the dome, the glass ceiling, you know. And of course his friend is a part of it all, very, very much so. In fact, he's numero uno mundane reality reinforcement officer. And of course we have the viewers, don't we? We have all the people on the globe watching the Truman Show religiously, and they have all the memorabilia. They have those 2 old ladies with the Truman cushion, and there's Truman t-shirt, and we have those waitresses in that bar, your typical lowest common denominator type of individual. And you might think at first, oh, aren't they nice people? They really care about Truman, they show such compassion. But it's like, actually, they're all NPCs, and they're really all gathering loosh to keep that show on the road, aren't they? That is what they are. Because if any of those people had an ounce of morality and true empathy and compassion, they would immediately go to where the dome is and put an end to it, because it is pure evil. Instead, they choose to go along with it all and to, you know, to uphold it. They have no empathy, they have no morality, they're loosh demons, they are loosh gatherers for the Matrix. It is because of them that the Truman Show carries on and exists. They get its food from it and in turn keep it going, which is exactly what is happening here anyway, and which is why it is so important that we all get to a place of letting it go, in entanglement of the hatred we feel and the rage we feel and the fear we feel. We can't make that happen. Just a minute, guys. Looms, no, Looms, come here. What are you doing? No, you're not going up there because, you know, you'll fall, and that's a bit scary. Alright, so just a minute, I won't be long, okay? Ooh. God, lost my train of thought now. So, you know, we are getting to a point where we will literally vibrate at a much higher level, to call it in the kind of common New Age parlance, right? To rise to that frequency, like in the Celestine prophecy at the end, where they vibrate at such a level that the forces of darkness can no longer touch us, can no longer harm us. But this requires for us to pass through a portal, and I will get to that in a bit. So, Truman discovers that it's all fake. And then, of course, they bring out his daddy. Father comes walking out of the mist towards him, because his best friend, you know, the guy who means so well but who's Mr. Number Uno, demon, mundane reality reinforcement officer, you know, there'll be one of those in your life, no doubt. Be very careful, because you might even think they're a relative and that you can trust them, or that they're your best friend even, I don't know, whatever, but believe me, it's happened to me. And Daddy is there, and it's all tears, and you know, and Christoph is up there in the moon, the moon, saying, "Oh, guys, you know, turn down the smoke a little bit, you know, and the music, and taper off the music, and bring the camera. Oh yeah, facial shot, and it's all engineered, and it's all fake, and it's all bullshit." And the waitress is in the fucking bar, oh, and the old ladies are clutching the pillow, and we hope it works out. Well, if you really hoped it worked out, you would go down there and you would fucking break open the dome and you would tell Truman the fucking truth, you shit weasels. You're all bloody louche-feeding demons. There you go. We see you. We know what you are. And of course, Christoph is the head archon. You know, he's there. The main louche-feeding demon, getting his accolades and his golden globes and fuck knows what else, you know. And, yeah, it's interesting. Daddy, wow, where did you go? Because, of course, at this point, it's like we've got to do whatever it takes to keep Truman on in Sea Haven, you know, to stop him from escaping. We've got to do whatever it takes. It doesn't matter how mad, how, you know, like, all of a sudden, Dad is here, my best friend, and as yet he's not really seeing as clearly as he might. But of course, it all comes to a head. You know, he can't help himself. He's on a trajectory. His feet have set upon a path. It is his destiny to be free. You see, it is a choice that he's already made. He made it a long time ago. And so, what does Truman have to do to be free? Well, he has to run that gauntlet. He has to go within. He has to face his fears. He has to face his true self, where he's believed in a complete lie, where he's been made to be his own worst enemy, where, you know, like just like any soul traveler does, where we have to go into our shadow, we have to do the soul retrieval, we have to walk the true narrow path. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I shall fear no evil, for I am a soul traveler, and the Great Mother walketh with me. Love is within us and all around us. So the minute they know he's not in his bed, because his body goes there with his six-pack of duffs again. It's all that bullshit, same old, 22, catch 22. And they realise, oh, and he's tunnelled up, hasn't he? From below, he has tunnelled up into the garden, into the light. And they're all out there, you know, all these MPC, mundane reality enforcement officers, are all out there en masse, you know, all of them, yeah, oh, the twins, oh, his mother, oh, his father, son, come out to me, son, we just want to talk to you, yeah, of course you do, all of them, they're all there. And this is how we feel as soul travelers as well, that grotesque betrayal of, how many times has that happened to you? You know, where you thought people were your friends, your family, your this, your that, and it's like, no man, no man, no man, no. They just want you to keep on living the monotonous, grey, bleak existence. This is all there is, Truman. Look. When you were a baby, and Sea Haven is the most beautiful place in the world, it's absolutely perfect here, and look, this is where we see, and your wife and you, even though she's got her fingers crossed on the wedding day, and it's like, wow, he notices that. It's plainly there, plain sight, her crossing her fingers, but he never noticed before until he does, you know? And it's like, boom, boom. These these shocks that we get to the system, but that open our eyes, are very painful. And there's your dark side saying you're being punished, you're being abused, it's evil, it's that, it's that. And it's like, yeah, but you know what? If that hadn't happened and that hadn't happened and that hadn't happened and that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here today. My consciousness expanded, my eyes opened, for we were blind, but now we see. And it was the same for Truman, but it's a gradual process. But they lose him. And the next thing you know, there he is in the sailing boat, and Christoph is like, gotcha. Because Christoph is so convinced of the power of his power, the dark magic, the MK Ultra mind control. He's totally convinced that he's never going to get out of here. The fear will keep him from self-actualizing. The fear will keep him from his self-determinism. But you see, evil can never ever get in the way of the fulfillment of destiny of a soul traveler. It cannot. It may try and it may try, but it only ever was the catalyst. It only ever was the impetus for us to fall into this experience. And once you're done with this experience, you reverse the process. The inversion is reversed slowly but surely, and for that we have to go in and through the darkness to come out into the light, like Truman, you see. So we come out into the light, and we have to cross the Rubicon, the water. See, now some refer to the soul as the living water as well. And often enough we know that when you die you have to cross the river Styx. I think it's Cerberus, the dog-headed god who is waiting for us there, and all this type of mythical stuff, you know, esoterica. Not that I believe in doing that now, because I don't. I think we're far, 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 far more powerful than that. We are no longer needing to be subject to the laws of this fake world, just like Truman is no longer subject to the laws of Christoph, yeah? Because he does get in that boat, and Christoph levies it all upon him, right? The storm, the crazy storm, the lightning and the thunder and the darkness and all of it. All of it is rained down upon Truman, because Christoph, the archdemon, is convinced that's going to sort his shit out, but it doesn't. Truman is on his way to the steps and the little door in the wall, and nothing is going to stop him at that point, because he has self-actualized. His sovereignty, his I am presence is finally landed, and nothing is going to stop him. He's going to feel the fear, but he's going to carry on doing what he must do.